I felt so full and everything I ate was delicious. And I think that is the key to starting any diet, is to make sure the foods that go into your mouth that are beneficial for you, for your health, for your body, they gotta taste good. What happened in the first week of starting all over again on the keto/carnivore diet? This week I weighed myself and did measurements, and yes, the scales and measurements do not lie, because combined both of them went down. I started at a weight of 66.4 kilos, and this morning I weighed myself and I am 64.4 kilos. That's a whole 2 kilos down. I totally expected to at least lose 1 kilo because I had a lot of inflammation. I don't know if you can see it in my face, but I feel thinner over the past week, and I know most of that is inflammation, all the sugar that I was consuming and all the binge eating cheat days that I was including in my diet for the past month before restarting. This week I wanted to show you everything that I ate. All of my breakfast, this is what I ate, and you can tell it's just plain eggs and bacon most of the days. And then for lunch, you'll notice there's not as many photos. Some of the days I actually ran out of time. I either was at work and too busy to think about lunch, so I wasn't even hungry, or I just ate my breakfast closer to a lunch time, so lunch was my first meal of the day. I did stick to my 5 rules and I drank my kefir smoothie. However, I tend to, by the end of the week, was having that with my dinner. And that was solely because it was one of my 5 rules. I wanted to get it in, so I made it a dessert instead of a drink with my lunch. Dinner was not what I had planned. I had planned to have my steaks, and then when they ran out, have my burger patties. And I'll tell you what, I think I had 1 night of burger patties, 2 nights of the rump steak, because they were delicious, and I cannot wait to show you how I cook them because they are foolproof and delicious every single time. But I ended up having other things because, here we go. One night of the week, my partner cooked dinner for us, and I wasn't going to complain. I was not going to just stand in the kitchen and say, well, you know, that's not really keto, or that's really high in carb. I actually stood there in shock and just appreciated watching my partner cook a dinner for me. This is what dinner was, and to be honest, I would have to call this a non-keto day because the carb count on this was almost 100 grams. For a keto diet, technically, you should be starting at 50 grams or less, and when in full ketosis, you should be maintaining at 20 grams or less of carbs, depending on how you tolerate carbs too. Some people can maintain at 50 grams, but I find to get into ketosis, you're better off aiming for 0 to 20 grams max to get into ketosis as fast as possible. And this meal, I was punching it into MyFitnessPal, and I realized, damn, this is nearly 100 grams worth of carbs. But hey, I did not give myself a goal of how many carbs I was going to consume in week 1. My goal was to keep up with my magnesium, electrolytes, and iodine, and have my kefir smoothie and not count calories. I just wanted to make sure that I was eating good protein, high fat, and low carbs. If you're on a carnivore diet, you can do 0 carbs quite easily because beef and bacon, they are completely 0 carb. So that is really easy to include beef and bacon at each meal if you want to focus on a low carb diet. So let's talk about the other dinners. I did have salads with my meats. I did have the cans of sardines that I was supposed to have for lunch. I had them for dinner instead. So dinner was very varied to what I had planned to consume in my previous video, but I kept it to a keto style meal. And it worked for me. I felt so full and everything I ate was delicious. And I think that is the key to starting any diet, is to make sure the foods that go into your mouth that are beneficial for you, for your health, for your body, they gotta taste good. Salad with a Caesar dressing always tastes good. Sardines that smell funky as, put some Caesar salad dressing on it and it's good. Good to go for days on straight. Yes, I'm starting all over again, but I really started this journey at the start of 2023, and I made it my New Year's resolution to focus on eating less sugar, lower my carb intake, get rid of the bread and pasta, and focus on meat as my number one fuel, second with fat and vegetables, some vegetables. I want to show you my starting photo. This was 2 weeks into January and I weighed 70 kilos. I am 5'3". This gave me a BMI of 27, which puts me in the overweight digit. I don't look overweight, but I definitely carry a lot of excess weight in my tummy. My legs have always stayed the same. So I want to put up this photo of me that was taken, I can't remember when. It was sometime in January before I started the diet, and I completely fell apart. I looked at this photo and thought to myself, do I really look that fat? And that's when I punched the numbers into the BMI calculator and realized, oh, okay, so I am overweight. I don't think it's a problem being overweight. I wasn't feeling very good. I was getting constant migraines and not sleeping at all. I was falling asleep late and then waking up around 1 or 2 in the morning, and I just would not be able to get back to sleep. I don't know if I was stressed or it was the weight gain, but it was a constant thing, and I was tired. I wasn't making very good decisions in my life, and one of those bad decisions was food. I would fuel myself with bags of chips. I was eating a lot of bread and putting the jams, the butter, and if I didn't have time to eat is because I couldn't think of what to eat because my brain was so foggy that I would just reach for the bread and make toast and eat about 6 slices of that, and that's not healthy at all. My hormones suffered. My cycle went 2-3 weeks long. My actual bleeding would be that long. Then I would have a period again 2 weeks later, and we can't be doing that. That in itself is really stressful on your body. I was not happy at all. So I started my keto journey, and I actually decided to do a YouTube channel and start Keto for Me in January, and I started recording myself. I started taking photos, but I just never hit upload because I didn't have any confidence to do that. But I also still was doing cheat days and cheat weeks. I would go into a full keto carnivore mode, and then 2-3 weeks later I would binge for a whole week. Sometimes it would just be because my mum was visiting, and when she comes and visits us, because we live hours away from her, she brings the peanut M&Ms, and they're my favorite. She also brings a lot of other things, but when she brings food, she brings it. And I can go a whole week of just eating it. And I remember telling my mum, please, can you stop bringing the chocolates and the lollies? I mean, for one, it's rotting the kids' teeth, and I'm having to eat it, and I'm on a diet. And she said, oh, don't worry about a diet. Or she'd say, well, just don't eat it. And I'm like, I just can't not eat it. I feel obliged to eat all the junk food in the house just to keep my kids healthy. But it doesn't help myself because I feel unwell and terrible. So we all lose. Yay! And grandma wins. I was not sticking to the diet very well. I was really struggling to keep my meals separate from my family's meals because I'm the only one that does a low carb diet. My in-laws wouldn't even know that I'm on a diet, and I keep it a secret because I don't want to offend anybody. When I go to their house and they cook me dinner, I don't want to say, well, I don't eat this. I think that's really rude. And they've gone to the trouble to make this beautiful meal. If someone's cooking dinner for me and I don't have to cook or clean up after myself, I'm very grateful. So I'm definitely not going to come in with my rules on, well, this is not high fat, or you've used the wrong fat and I don't eat vegetables today, I'm just doing BBBE. No, I can't do that to them. So finding that balance was really hard in the beginning. But however, I did lose weight. So I lost 3 kilos. The first one was easy. The second one came like 1 to 2 months later. And then by the third drop, I had maintained and was feeling really, really good. And I thought, wow, 3 kilos down and now I'm starting to feel amazing. I healed my body. My mind was feeling great. My cycle was back to normal. However, there was always 1 week where I would have a slip up here and there, and it would lead to a weekend of binging. And that's where I hit my plateau. So it made me think of that when I had that dinner last week. There was almost 100 grams of carbs. If I had another one of these 2 days in a row, then I know I would be falling off the wagon. Just can't do that when you're starting fresh again. You really have to try your hardest to aim for 0 to 20 grams of carbs when going keto, because you will slip up. You will have that extra potato that you're not supposed to have, or you will eat a piece of toast and you're just having a little bite of the kids' chips before dinner's ready. It's not going to work if you don't focus and have a goal. Doing YouTube, it's keeping me motivated and it's keeping me accountable for what I put in my mouth and what I consume. I know that if I eat a piece of bread 1 to 2, 3 days in a row, then I'm not going to see results. And I want to see results. I want to be able to show and explain that keto is a really cool diet. It's easy. It's not as restrictive as some people think. If you can transition to carnivore a week or days into your diet, you're going to see faster results. If you are starting keto or carnivore for the very first time, I've got one hot tip for you to start with the first meal of the day. Hack that first meal and start with bacon and eggs. It's delicious, it's easy, and it's the right macros. So till then, I'm Ivy. I'm still your ordinary person, and I'm starting all over again. But we're in week 2 now. Ciao!